Mexican authorities say that they found the bodies believed to be the 3 missing surfers who were traveling from San Diego to Baja.
It's day 3 of the UCSD protests of the war in Gaza. We have details in a live report.
Scripps scientists are set to explore the bottom of the ocean in this, the Alvin. It'll be their deepest dive yet. We'll take you on board and tell you what they're hoping to learn.
Cinco de Mayo preparations are underway throughout San Diego. I'll tell you what you can expect this weekend.
It's National School Lunch Hero Day, and we're celebrating Mira Mesa's famous lunch lady, Chowie Chit.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Mexican authorities say they've recovered 3 bodies believed to be the missing surfers who were traveling from San Diego to Ensenada. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Family and friends say U.S. citizen Jack Carter Road and Australian natives and brothers Callum and Jake Robinson left San Diego last week on a surfing trip in Baja and never came back. 3 people have been arrested in their connection with their disappearance.
Now the FBI is assisting Mexican and Australian authorities in this investigation. CBS 8's Abby Black tells us what we know about the case right now and who may have been the last to see the men alive.
There's a lot of unconfirmed information out there about the disappearance of the 3 men who were traveling from San Diego to Baja on a surfing trip. But here's what we know so far. I spoke to someone who says that they'd last seen one of the men alive. Friends tell us that one of the surfers is Callan Robinson. He lived here in Ocean Beach and was a lacrosse player.
Saturday is the last time that his mother says that she heard from Callum and her other son, Jake. That's the same day the white Chevrolet Colorado truck they were traveling was seen at San Miguel Beach in Ensenada. On Wednesday, she posted a missing persons flyer to social media, pleading for help to find her sons and their friend Jack Carter Road. They'd never checked into their Airbnb in Rosarito. During the trip from San Diego to Ensenada, Callum posted about a stop in Rosarito eating tacos and enjoying the ocean view. I spoke to a surfer who believes that he saw Callum on Sunday around 2:30 in the afternoon outside of a tackle shop south of Rosarito near the popular surf spot K38.
The guy come out and asking for make a change. I think it was like $100 or something like that.
For the man's protection, we are not identifying him, but he says if it was Callum and his friends, and he believes that it was, they were in good spirits.
They say are pretty nice people. Absolutely. Very respectful.
Yesterday, Baja's attorney general said that 3 people were arrested in connection to their disappearance after evidence was found in the La Bocana area, a popular fishing cove and surf break.
Se encuentra en este momento un equipo de trabajo.
She says currently a work team is at the location where they were last seen, where tents were found along with some evidence that may link these 3 individuals who are under investigation. Today, our news partner Televisa reports that 3 bodies believed to be the Robinson brothers and Road were found below a cliff in the La Bocana area. Officials say that they still need to confirm their identities. This area is known to be plagued by cartel violence. There's been an outpouring of interest on social media. Callum was a national champion lacrosse player. The San Diego Lacrosse Club shared condolences online. The Baja surfer told me that there will be a paddle out on Sunday at 4 p.m. at San Miguel.
The community surf are pretty concerned, so bad. They're crying, they are stressful. Surfers, we see other surfers like our brothers.
We know that Carter Road is an American citizen and has family in Atlanta. We're working with our partners there and in Mexico. We'll continue to update you as we're able to confirm information as it comes out. Abby Black, CBS 8.
All right, get ready for a little bit of rain this weekend, okay?
I felt a little bit of that mist this morning. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis has been telling us about this all week, but hey, we're making it to the weekend. That's what matters.
It's also going to be while you're sleeping. So,
all right.
Even
well, that's
better.
Good.
Exactly. You light showers out there.
Sleep in is what you're telling me.
Ooh, hit that snooze.
Wait, let me change that. Sleep in is what you're telling Marcella.
Yes.
That part.
But yes, okay.
Sleep, Marcella, please.
I will.
All right, take a look at that weekend forecast. Yeah, our rain chances do start to go up over the weekend, and it's mainly going to be from about Saturday night all the way through Sunday morning. That's where you're seeing that big uptick when it comes to our rain chances. So we're not talking about heavy rainfall. Little rain is literally what we're going to be dealing with this weekend. So you start to see a few light showers, misty conditions, and a little dreary for Saturday, and then a little bit more measurable rainfall by about 10:10 on Saturday night. You're seeing that for Del Mar, also for downtown, for Ramona, parts of Santee, Escondido, and then we see more of the influx, more measurable rainfall. That's going to be about 4:40 in the morning on Sunday, and then everything quickly gets out and then we're basking in the sunshine by Sunday afternoon. So rainfall projections, you're talking about upwards of 0.05 of an inch for the coast as well as for downtown. Inland valleys, upwards of about 1/10 of an inch, and the mountains, 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch being possible during that time period. It's going to be a fast-moving storm system, enough to get roads slick. Flooding's not going to be a concern. We'll take a look at your complete forecast coming up. Carlo.
Thanks, Carlene. And don't forget, you can get the latest forecast and have weather alerts sent straight to your phone. Just download our free CBS 8 app or visit our website, cbs8.com.
Protests against the war in Gaza entered their third day on the UC San Diego campus today. Mirroring pro-Palestine movements across the country, students at UCSD are calling on the divestment from businesses or entities that support Israel in their war in Gaza.
CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes was on campus talking with students and protesters. She joins us live with details. Kirsten, we understand there was a news conference from the Council on American Islamic Relations today on campus. How did that go?
Yeah, that went pretty well. It wrapped up around 3:30 this afternoon, but I want you to take a look behind me. There are additional speakers addressing the crowd outside of the encampment as people gather. Now, the press conference this afternoon featured Jewish, Christian, and Muslim speakers and students who are all calling for a ceasefire in Gaza, as well as on UCSD to divest from any ties with the war in Gaza. Students I talked to on campus say the cancellation of Sun God, a yearly tradition on campus, was an attempt to divide students. Take a listen.
Students have been steadfast despite intimidation here and across the nation, have continued to stand for Palestine and stand for Gaza.
That's Janine. She's a UCSD student leading a press conference with CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, about their peaceful protests of the war in Gaza on campus at UCSD. Janine says UCSD's cancellation of the yearly Sun God Festival was the university's attempt to divide them. Tessa, a Jewish student with the Hillel of San Diego UCSD chapter, is on the opposite end of this protest, but she agrees.
I've been wanting to kind of not hide who I am, but just not being outright about it.
Michaela is a freshman at UCSD who doesn't really have an opinion about the war in Gaza, but says the cancellation was a step in the wrong direction for UCSD.
Which is crazy because what does that have to do with anything? Since it's a tradition or whatever, why can't we still do it?
The protest at UCSD has been peaceful. As the encampment enters its third day on campus, protesters point to other student-led protests on UCSD's campus, like the 1980s anti-apartheid movement that changed the course of history, as UCSD was the largest university divestment in the country.
We are calling for them to not use our student tuition dollars that we are paying lots of money to attend this institution, to not fund a genocide.
Rachel is a Jewish student at UCSD who is camping out in the protests against the war in Gaza. She says canceling the yearly Sun God Festival only bolsters their position to fight for what they think is right.
It's not because of us that they're canceling it. It is an attempt to divide the student body.
This is a live look at the encampment on UCSD's campus. Now tonight at 7, the pro-Palestinian encampment will host a Shabbat dinner, which is a traditional Friday night meal for Jewish households. Students here tell us that it is going to be a show of camaraderie for all faiths right here again tonight at 7. Reporting for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
Thanks, Kirsten. And meanwhile, UC Riverside reached a peaceful agreement with student encampment leaders there. The school announced today they plan to disclose all UC investments on their website for full transparency, among other concessions. An encampment by pro-Palestinian protesters in the meantime has been cleared on the UCLA campus. Also today, the American Jewish Committee, some UCLA students, faculty, and alumni addressed what they describe as rising anti-Semitism on campus.
Freedom of speech and freedom to peacefully protest are fundamental pillars of our democracy. But violence, harassment, and intimidation are not free speech and have no place on campus or anywhere. Simply stated, we failed our Jewish students this week.
More than 200 protesters were arrested yesterday after authorities declared the encampment an unlawful assembly.
The University of Southern California will host an event celebrating graduates after canceling its commencement ceremony. Trojan Family Graduate Celebration Day will take place next Thursday at the LA Memorial Coliseum. It will include live performances and fireworks. Since other groups are sharing the venue at the same time, USC says it couldn't have its main stage ceremony at the Coliseum. Right now, investigators are looking into a fire at a home in Carmel Valley. It broke out early this morning around 4:15 on Torrey View Court near Interstate 5 and State Route 56. Fire crews say once they got there, it took them less than 10 minutes to get the flames under control, but you can see all of the damage here. The two-story home is now left with a lot of damage. You can see scorch marks from top to bottom. There is also some minor damage to the homes nearby, but firefighters were able to stop this fire from spreading.
Scripps oceanography scientists are set to take their deepest dive yet, more than 16,000 feet down, to explore how methane is impacting our marine life and how it could help climate change above the surface.
CBS 8's Jenny Day joins us from outside of the submersible off the coast of Point Loma, despite her best efforts to get inside. Jenny.
So we are at the top of the Alvin and where they climb inside. It was named after a geophysicist and engineer who pioneered expeditions like this. The Alvin has made more than 5,000 dives since its inception in 1964 and helped more than 14,000 scientists and engineers explore the bottom of the ocean floor.
This mission is going to usher in a new era of ocean exploration.
A deep-sea expedition that will bring 2 scientists and 1 pilot to some of the deepest depths of the ocean humans have ever gone.
Those are actually windows, small windows that we look out of.
The dive is supported by the National Science Foundation and NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. UC San Diego's Lisa Levin, a renowned deep-sea explorer, will lead the way.
It's beautiful. It's full of life. Most people envision the deep sea as a big dark hole, flat and featureless, but it's really heterogeneous.
They'll be about 4 miles down off the coast of Alaska, exploring our deep sea ecosystems and how marine life and microbacteria are adapting, even benefiting from the naturally occurring gas methane seeping from the sea floor. Then also perhaps how we could benefit from capturing it.
Methane is coming out of the ground in the deep ocean along our margins, continental margins. And so we're really interested about what keeps it from getting into the atmosphere. And the answer is the microbes and animals at methane seeps. They basically eat the methane, the microbes do, and some of the microbes turn that methane into rock.
After plummeting into the sea, it'll take 2 hours to reach the ocean floor and then another 2 to return to the surface, leaving scientists with about 6 hours to collect data using the sub's robotic arms.
We also need critical minerals, which we know or think that are there. We need them for our cell phones and for our electronic cars.
The Alvin's missions have led to thousands of discoveries, including coral reefs and hydrothermal vents. It most notably brought researchers back to the site of the Titanic in 1986. It can hover in the water, maneuver over rugged terrain, or rest on the sea floor. The sub carries enough oxygen to let a 3-person crew breathe for 3 days.
Alvin's very small. It's about, 6 or 6.5 feet diameter. For 3 people, it's a small sphere.
As for the top 2 questions they say they get, the first being if they get scared, and they tell me no, and that's because they really trust their team. The second being if they have to decompress upon their return. I'm also told no, and that's because the atmosphere inside of this sub is the same as on the surface. Wishing them well and can't wait to see what they find. Reporting today from Point Loma, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Pretty neat, just 2 hours and boom, 16,000 feet below the surface.
Special kind of courage to be able to get into something that small and trust it that much.
I agree. Thank goodness for our brave researchers.
Yeah.
Still ahead tonight, some of the top spots to celebrate Cinco de Mayo this weekend.
Plus, we're celebrating Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month here at CBS 8. How San Diego Unified is also honoring the month.
And up next, your gas stove may be hazardous to your health.